Ladies and gentlemen, knights and knaves, welcome to episode 1 of Buhurt Breakdown. A show where we discuss cool things to do with Buhurt and maybe learn some stuff, who knows. I'm Eli, the Flower of Chivalry, and this is episode 1, and episode 1 is brought to you in association with Buhurt Tech, who are a fantastic Ukrainian armor shop, who are letting me use their videos, and today's episode we're gonna start focusing on 2015's story. I'd like to think of it as a story of Sharukhan Clan's Battle of Nations fights. And here is their very cool intro as well, if you like your tribal music and your Buhurt at the same time. Right, and if you don't recognize Sharukhan Clan from the Buhurt Tech stuff, you might recognize him from something like this. You might have heard that on the fields of battle a couple of times throughout history, and I certainly absolutely highly recommend you go check out some of Igor's videos on YouTube. All links to the original footage will be written below in the YouTube thing, because YouTube's great. Anyway, getting stuck to it, 2015, this Battle of Nations 2015, group fights, Ukraine, Sharukhan Clan. I do believe they are Ukraine free, and their first fight is against Poland, are very strong opponents. So what do? Today we're going to be focusing and seeing how our heroes perform throughout the tournament, and most importantly we'll be focusing on some Poleaxe work by Igor. So let's see what goes down. So first of all, we can see what I really like this team is their communication really is spot on before every battle. I'm not always going to be showing this in the videos. There we go. I'm not always going to be showing what they talk about, but these guys have fantastic communication. Igor almost always tells his team where he wants them to go, and how to play around the strengths of the Poleaxe. And I do think Poleaxe work is one of the defining points of this team, is good social awareness of social awareness. They're really good with their Facebook too. The battlefield awareness and knowing where to go and what to do. So initially we can see that Igor's actually positioned everybody in a very nice kind of formation, and I'll be pulling up little formation diagrams throughout here if you'll just bear with me. So there we go, we've got a nice little formation thing here. So that's essentially how they start. So this is the start of our hero's journey. So what we can see is the little star is the Poleaxe and everybody else's fighters around them. So we've got 2 fighters up front, 1 fighter to the side who defends the flanks, and we've got a Poleaxe sort of sitting in the middle of all these guys, sort of looking around for his space, looking for any openings. And more importantly, we've got 1 guy in the back. And I want you to watch out for this guy in the back that Igor talks to all the time, because his exclusive job throughout the entire thing is almost always to take guys off the Poleaxe, as we can see. Anyway, back to the Buhurt. Me talking is boring. Right, Poland. Again, Poleaxe sounds back. We've got a little bit of a standoff. The front 2 fighters go forward. The flankers keep on presenting the flank. Excellent, there we go. The Poleaxe breaks through almost immediately. Look at him, he's got heaps of space to work with. Bringing on the pain onto the Polish. Not getting too stuck in, not grappling. Always waiting for his friends to just grab somebody, grapple them, just so he can make short work of it. Making sure that guy's down. They end up in a little bit of a grapple here, which isn't terribly ideal, but the rest of the Polish team is unfortunately mopped up by the Ukrainians, and Ukraine wins. So straight away we can see the strengths of the Ukrainian team. Good communication, looking around, and again that Poleaxe always hangs back just to see where he can go to make it more useful. And then we also have some excellent, useful advice from the coach, who tells him that essentially the guys, you should stick to the sides of the list a little bit more, because the Polish team is very strong in the center field, and they'll just kick you down. Which is always sensible. So if we skip a little bit forward to the start of the second fight, which is obviously the interesting part, because everybody comes here to watch people beat each other up, and that's fantastic. So fight number 2, second round. So more or less we've got the same plan, the same formation. We're going forward. Again, Poleaxe is hanging back. There we go. He notices people breaking through. He doesn't rush in. It's cold and calculating. He sees where it's best to apply the brute force action and where to beat somebody down. Oh, what an excellent kick as a defense. I absolutely love that. The Polish fighter on the ground was not happy with that. There we go, we got another person brought down by Igor's Poleaxe, and Polish fighter is in a world of hurt there, but you know, we always like to check if everybody's okay, and you know, these guys are some of the nicest guys I've met there out on the field of battle, and, you know, they always make sure you're okay, because, hey, we're all friends here. So, match number 1 goes pretty well for our Ukrainian friends, and it's really excellent. Let's go to match number 2. Match number 2 is against Italy. I do believe it's Italy 2, so another pretty strong team from Central Europe, you know, nice guys. Okay, so what do we do for match 2? Well, our formation is a little bit changed this time. So this time our Ukrainian friends adopt sort of more of a classical box formation. I do believe Igor mentions this a couple of times in his pre-match spiel, where you know, we're going around like a box, and you guys should protect me. They're very good at talking to each other pre-fight. They have a plan. They always have a game plan before going in. You know, they're going in sort of this like little box thing where, again, Poleaxe is sort of center field on their flank, and he can go wherever he's needed, really, and you know, that's just fantastic. But yeah, back to the match. There's a lot of up in front. Igor over there again. There we go. There's a nice little box, so that the Poleaxe is nicely protected and can bring on the pain. Again, the Ukrainian team advances forward. They go. Most of the Italian front line is shut down by the front Ukrainian fighters, as it should be. And there we go. Again, Igor is free to bring home the pain. Again, on those two fighters, they can't do anything about it realistically. They're being held down. It just really hurts to be Poleaxed in the head repeatedly, and eventually that sends enough shocks to be brought down. Right, excellent, and that's round 1 versus Italy 2. That's a very nice and smooth victory where everything goes forward just as planned, which is, you know, fantastic for our heroes right here. And it only makes sense to think of them as our heroes because obviously this is our point of view footage of GoPro. GoPros are fantastic, by the way. If you haven't, use it on Buhurt. Right. Yeah. Again, Igor's instruction box. Yeah. And let's go. And this time they're getting I think a little bit adventurous here. They're a little bit out of formation because the previous round was one. So you know, you can tell they're having fun. But that kind of leads them slightly to trouble. Just back there, as we can see, I'm just going to rewind it a little bit. So we have the two guys advance forward slightly too much out of formation. And that immediately lands them in slightly hot water, actually, because as we can see, there we go, a guy goes there, a guy goes forward, and then we've got that guy right in front of him that's unchecked and is going to make a complete beeline either for the Poleaxe or for the guy in front of the Poleaxe, which isn't really good news. The guy, he's still unchecked, there we go, and he takes him down from the side, leaves another fighter right open in front of the Poleaxe. Not an ideal positioning thing, so they do make a little bit of a mistake there. But obviously, Ukraine is made of exceptionally skilled individual fighters, and they can compensate for that. So, certainly, no fight is as easy as it first seems sometimes, because your opposition always has other plans to ruin your day. There we go, and again, they win down those individual wrestlers, but they almost get in trouble there, which is you know, it can happen to anybody. Excellent, and we're all friends here. Thugs and hugs as always. Excellent. Right, on to round 3. How many rounds are we doing today, you might ask? I don't know, it's a surprise. Watch till the end and find out. So, round 3 versus friends. Let me just rewind this to the start, where everything begins. Sharukhan Clan Fight Club. Lining up against France 3. Yeah, France also usually bring pretty beefy boys to these kind of tournaments. They're all quite big guys, certainly quite hard to take down. And again, we see a third use of formation here. That's a little bit different. So we've got more of this kind of shape, where we've got, again, axe always at the back. And, you know, fighters a little bit in front, and some kind of boxy or defensive formation where they can split off and break into that. This is quite an interesting one because it has 2 men in the front and 2 men sort of almost hidden by them in the back. You leads the flankers, the two fighters in the back and from the Poleaxe, to either take people off the Poleaxe or maybe get up to some nefarious business. It's always harder to see people in the second line. So initially we square off. If I was a French fighter just there, I would have certainly tried to grapple Igor straight away, because you don't really want to be facing off and leaving the enemy Poleaxe around. But Igor obviously wouldn't want that to happen, so he doesn't choose to engage. He stays back again. It's that nice little standoff. It's good movement, good observation. It's a very commanding position of the battlefield. It's a slightly more cautious approach. He sees there's a guy to the left. He's always checking. Look at him turning his head. And that's what it's all about. If you're the Poleaxe, it's battlefield awareness. It's knowing where to strike the best. So it starts getting a little bit of aggression to him when the French decide to finally come through. And instantly, we see within about 2-3 seconds, as soon as somebody tries to take down the Poleaxe or try to engage him, we've got a Ukrainian fighter and come to the help of the Poleaxe, which is just fantastic. Because, you know, especially if the Poleaxe is left in the red zone in the middle of the field, certainly you want him to be nice and protected. So there we go. And now that the Poleaxe is free, they can go on their 2-up play straight away. And yeah, it would hurt to be that French guy stuck between those dudes. Certainly not a great plan. Again, very clear instructions at the start of the game. Left flank and center goes forward. Yeah, exactly. Don't let anybody through, guys. Same thing as before, more or less. Again, engaging and similar plan. There we go, go forward. Yeah, they're trying to do a slightly more aggressive approach this time because they saw France being cautious in the previous round, probably. So they know they can seize the initiative. And there we go, nearly all the French fighters are bound up, and it's super short work for the Poleaxe. It's an excellent work there by the Ukrainian fighter that's just got 2 French fighters bound up there. And the French don't really stand a chance with Igor just running around doing his own thing. He's allowed to do his own thing. You know, that's fantastic for the Ukrainians because that's always going to result in a win. Really shut down the opposition there. Really some fantastic work by the Ukrainians. Excellent. So, they've done pretty well so far. 3 rounds up. They're definitely going through to the playoff stage, which is fantastic. But there is one last fight left in their groups. And how will they fare then? Will they save their strength? Or will they just go demolish everybody like they try to usually? We'll see. So, next fight is against Austria. So, Igor again gives clear instruction at the start of we're just going to advance slowly and then make a push at it at the last moment. So, you know, there's no point running forwards and legging it. You're in armor. You want to conserve energy. It's a long day ahead. So, again, a slightly different formation here. They're going more for an echelon feel here. So something along these lines. Let me just keep that up there. So that's what we're doing. That's our starting position. Again, we can see that there is a Poleaxe and fighter behind. We've got a front line of 3 staggered fighters to try and take on any from-coming opposition, and a guy to the right of the Poleaxe to just try and defend them and take people off them as easily. So versus Austria, round 1. A guy instantly breaks through and goes for Igor. He knows what's up. He knows he can't let that Poleaxe live. So, and unfortunately he does tumble, and Igor again can just get in there and just bring home the pain. From behind, from the sides. That cannot feel pleasant for the Austrian fighters, and they will crumble eventually. And obviously because they're engaged in quite a strong grapple, certainly with either the pain of the Poleaxe or the fighter will be in so much disarray that the Igor's friends will be able to throw them down quite easily. The fight is stopped for reasons, I guess. We got 2 Austrian fighters left. We've got 1 halberdier trying to outrun 3 Ukrainians, which is always great, and gets one of them down, which is absolutely fantastic, because anything can happen. Unfortunately, he does trip over the fallen body of the Ukrainian fighter. So, again, Igor says, we're not letting anybody through behind, because that's obviously what happened in round 1. We're always looking around. Again, so situational awareness and just defending that space in the back of the list where your Poleaxe can go and make short work of anybody who you're fighting at the moment. It's all about teamwork. So round 2. So this time they're certainly going to be more aware of those breakthroughs. And there we go. There is somebody pretty much instantly. If we just rewind a little bit. Again, the guy from Austrian team tries to break through, but he's shut down this time. And they see that nobody can come through the center because the center's got these 2 strong fighters in. And these Austrian fighters just trying to get stuck in, just trying to get those front assaulting fighters down to just try and get a numerical advantage. Lots of fighting in the middle of the list. Again, Igor is just free to do his own thing thanks to his teammates. Every single time he's in trouble, his teammates come to the rescue. I wouldn't really call it a rescue, I just, you know, they just take guys off him just so he can do his thing. And, you know, it's a mutual self-help thing. And that's pretty fantastic. And that's 2 wins against Austria, so there we go. We got 4 wins for Sharukhan Clan, which is pretty darn impressive. And for the next fight, I do believe this is their last fight versus Finland. We have the last group fight, so what are they going to do? Again, we hear a recurring theme from the group captain, and a little bit of a change for formation. So the recurring thing is always, again, look around. Guy called Moose, he addresses to... Moose is a fantastic nickname. Loss in Russian. He tells him to just take guys off me. And, you know, that's the defender, and that's his job. Surma's pulled up. So, again, a staggered front line formation, and Poleaxe in the back. Yeah. Nice little battle cry. There we go. Everybody's bound up. This is fantastic. Poleaxe is free to do his thing. Until the enemy Poleaxe, of course, gets free, and they have an excellent Poleaxe duel. Not the ideal teamwork situation here, but sometimes you just have to have a Poleaxe duel, and that's fantastic. And now we're gonna see the Finnish Poleaxe do what Igor's been doing, and shout some things in Finnish. Unfortunately, I can't speak Finnish, but one can assume is a little bit of help, please, or that equivalent. And there we go. Suddenly we got 2 fighters on Igor, which is the least ideal situation we want to be in. Obviously, it's Igor's job now to just try and hold out and hope the rest of his team can out-wrestle the opposition. It looks like we've got another Ukrainian fighter down there in the middle. And, you know, I'm just really surprised that Igor manages to weather it for so long. His armor is really good. I'm really impressed by the Buhurt Tech stuff because, like, I mean, a rondel falls off or something, but I think he catches a couple of those blows on his hands and stuff, and he's perfectly fine. He's just standing there. And those are big hits coming from the Finnish guys. Yeah, that's a nice 2-handed axe. Quite an interesting technique by the Finn, actually. Sort of bastard axe, really. A shielded axe that, with an axe that you can use 2-handed. But Igor, of course, is holding on. He doesn't want to go down. Yeah, there we go. And help is finally on the way. A little bit later than expected. I do think Igor's lost his axe, so he can't actually do anything. So confusion reigns. There we go, our Ukrainian friend is pulling his spare weapon. And I want to note an interesting thing here. He doesn't fight the guy he was fighting. He doesn't go for the opposition team's Poleaxe because he's been in that fight for about a minute and a half or something. Not a minute and a half, about 30 seconds. About 30 seconds, and it just hasn't gone anywhere. It's pretty much a stalemate. So he chooses to leave that fight, and again, use that superior positioning to go somewhere else on the field of battle and see where he can be the most help to his friends. He really doesn't want a stalemate opportunity. Also, this is their last group fight. They really don't want to get tired out hugging people. So, again, he goes to the center field, and the Ukrainian team are, of course, masters of teamwork. Again, they're all talking to each other, they're all looking around. Very nice little leg sweeps here and there, and it's all over. They're really able to reign that center ground once they break the Finns' formation, which is fantastic. Again, it's super important not to keep your head very clear and just to look where you can help your team the most. I think is the sort of main focal point here of that match. It's very interesting. And they're looking a little bit tired there, you can sort of hear the breath, but you know, let's call them warmed up. They're warmed up now, they're really ready for it, and It's been quite a close fight previously. We've gotten a little bit of trouble there with our Poleaxe being shut down for the Sharukhan Clan team. So we'll see what happens in the next one. Let me just consult my notes. Yes, I do have notes. Look. Aha! It's all starting. There we go. Axe is free. He's certainly Igor's using a bit more of a cautious approach. He's got a guy right in front of him, taking people straight off him. There we go, can get stuck in. As soon as the enemy shows his back, there we go, it's time to get stuck in and really bring on that pain. Finnish fighter, of course, not going down that easy. He manages to break free from the big group hustle over there. And go straight for Igor. Again, Igor's choosing not to engage the fighter he's engaging because he knows that's not a winning strategy. He tries to help his mates straight away, especially if everybody's engaged one-on-one. You really want to boil down the fight to 2-on-1s or more, if possibly can. You always want to be a man up locally, if not globally. And the Finnish fighter, I think, commits a little mistake and leaves Igor alone because Igor is now again going to make short work of the fighter in front of him. Again, good shot from behind, and we've got a nice 2-on-2 situation with very similar matched formations, so I think it'll probably be up to the fighters. Excellent takedown by Igor there, just the overhead pull, strong Poleaxe technique. I advise anybody who practices Poleaxe to practice that. Again, beating down, Finnish guy loses his gauntlet, and we've got the classic 2-on-1 left. Again, talking to his friend, turn the guy around, there you go, bam. Doesn't even bother hitting him through his guy, it's all about positioning. Again, turning him around, bam, bam. The Finnish fighter is a little bit spun around, but he's now free, so they really want to try and lock him down. Wrestling. Finnish fighter is really doing his best, but again, that nice little leg sweep gets him down, and Ukraine is 2 up. And they're through to the playoffs! Our heroes are through to the playoffs. Isn't that fantastic? For all of you who've been here, Ukraine's got a very strong supporting team. It's always lovely to see them there. But yeah, excellent. They made the playoffs. So how do they do? Again, we'll find out. How many more videos do I have to go through? Hopefully, you're still watching. Because now we're really getting to the thick of it kind of thing in the rounds. So again, we're gonna swap our little formation tooltip here. So again, made it through. What an excellent battle cry. It's obviously the historic version of For the Horde. And for Sharukhan, so, you know, for the Horde, guys. They're facing off Italy 2. Oh, Italy 1, I believe. Sorry. I don't quite remember which one. No, it's Italy 2. It says Italy 2. So, again, so we have started off, if we just rewind that. We go in a little formation here. So the fighters from each side have broke off to their respective bits, leaving the Poleaxe in the middle in a commanding position of the battlefield. However, it did mean that, unlike in the French match, the Italian guy was just straight on him. So if we rewind it back a little bit to the closing down. So we're advancing. Poleaxe is in the middle. Guys to each side break off. Guy in the middle, he's squaring off, he's using cautious approach. Igor doesn't want to engage somebody unless it's 2-on-1, because that's where the Poleaxe lies. So, however, the Italian guy, of course, sees the Poleaxe and he goes for it. So, not ideal, but again, he's shouting to Zlotov to come help him. Yeah, go for the legs. They really like those leg sweeps. Certainly a very strong weapon in the arsenal. Also, leg sweeps are fantastic if, let's say, one of your arms is injured and, you know, start using your other limbs to fight. It's great. Again, Poleaxe gets free, which is great. Not quite free yet. Still got the guy on him. Yeah, just trying to get free, trying not to wrestle, trying certainly not to grapple. He's always using that axe as a bar. Got 2 people on him now. Not ideal. The other Italian fighter tries to intercept the help. And there you go, finally, help's on the way. Again, this is where we want to be. One of our own fighters get free. Igor is very good at not losing his Poleaxe and grapples. And it's really pretty much the end of it for Italy 1. Again, making sure that everyone's okay. Hugs and hugs. Excellent. And so what happened overall there? So our formation started off quite well, and we advanced forward, and we found out that the centre field Poleaxe got shut down by their centre field sword and shield offense, and then pretty much that guy stayed in Igor for the entirety of the match, which wasn't terribly ideal. You know, eventually we did get free and we did get some Poleaxe in, but ideally we just the Italians really shut down their team defense there a little bit. So we'll see how they do in the second one. In the second round, Igor is sitting out, so our point of view footage is there from a commanding position from the back of the field, and we just have a standard line of 5 Ukrainian boys versus Italy. I don't think we've got any Poleaxe on the Ukrainian side there. I think it's all just gonna go down in a line fight, and gonna boil down to a whole bunch of individual fights, lots of running around, being very mobile, talking to each other, winning your one-on-ones, and Ukraine takes the day with that nice and fast mobile play. Alright, we've done round 1 of the playoffs. Round 2 of the playoffs. What can we learn from this? So, the next round of the playoffs is Sharukhan Clan versus Belarus 1. Belarus 1, of course, is one of the strongest teams out there. It's a tier 1 team. So this is going to be a really hard fight for them, and they know it. So I think the formations we sort of use here is kind of more of a bit of a, again, a bit of an echelon. We'll see. Again, guys, do you remember what you need to do? So go near me and take guys off. So I think they actually start off something again like this, a little bit more of a staggered line. Don't rush it. Don't rush it, guys. Keep your maneuvers ready. Hold it, hold it. So they're it's quite interesting. They're using a little bit more of a cautious approach here. They certainly don't want to rush into things. They want to give themselves the time and the space to do their maneuvers and execute their Poleaxe play, because as we've seen before, when Sharukhan Clan gets their Poleaxe play on and they get those 2-on-1s, they win pretty much every single round. And if the Poleaxe gets shut down, the matches are a lot more protracted, and certainly things don't go as easy as they should for them. But when the Poleaxeman gets to do what he wants, you know, it's easy game. So, and having the space and the time is very important. Space and time are 2 key concepts in most martial arts. You don't want to rush into anything. You just really want to give yourself the time to be in the right place at the right moment. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And then they're going. So excellent. So we've got a breakthrough. Interestingly, on the left, we've got a runner trying to distract some people and run to the back. And the guys to the side of Igor are probably going to try and take those flankers. Again, Igor is looking. Belarusian goes for him, and his friends do try to protect him, but it doesn't quite work because the other Belarusians are on the defensive Ukrainian player. So again, we have a 1-on-1 of Poleaxe versus Shieldsman, which is not good. So the plan doesn't quite go according to the letter. Again, Igor just really tries to break away from that because he knows it's not ideal, and that's really good. I mean, if you're in trouble and your plan's not working, try and get back to the plan as soon as you can. Yeah. Unfortunately, Ukrainian fighter does go out of the list there, by the looks of things. Again, Poleaxe and Poleaxe is all sort of starting to look a little bit messy. Igor just really struggling to get free. 2-on-1, not great when you're fighting Belarus, especially. Again, he's just being wailed on, and you know, it's really a testament to his armor that, you know, he can just weather it so well. No, not even a shout of pain. What a champion. So it looks like Ukraine is being outnumbered now, which is not good news. So there's two guys held up in a corner, and a Poleaxe working in them. There's good defense there by Ukrainians. They're not really letting the Belarusian Poleaxe come near. They always have the guy they're hugging in front of them, shielding them with the body shield. So the Poleaxe wanders off somewhere else. Well, we're just grappling, really, which is not quite what they wanted to do. But, you know, that's fine. Life works out that way. It could go anyway. So, and now we don't start seeing things that well because, obviously, our camera is... Igor, unfortunately, loses his Poleaxe, so he's got to just try and take his falchion out so he can still fight back. but obviously he doesn't have a lot of defense now, and he's just getting pummeled by that shield. And hey, look, the Belarus Poleaxe is back. Not great. So, 2-on-1, yeah, really not looking good for Ukraine right now. Oh dear. Lining up that Poleaxe shot. The other Poleaxe man is actually doing what Igor has been doing all tournament to others, and that's what it looks like from the other side, unfortunately. It happens to the best of us, and with that one big hit and one throw, Igor is down. He's okay, he's fine. But that's what Poleaxe looks like on the other side, so if we just rewind that, again, you can see the Poleaxe man looking around, he's lurking like a shark, he's not really spending any energy, then he waits, bam, and it's all over. It's really maximizing that hit strength on the Poleaxe. That's pretty fantastic to see. So, if we just skip a little bit ahead to the next round, I believe it's at 3:35. So, round 2, they're back in. So, the strategy for this round is again a similar type of formation. They're going forward a little bit more aggressively this time, because I saw that defensive play didn't work so well. Again, doing a much better job of shielding their axe this time. They're really not letting those guys through. We've got a similar match of formations back and forth. So we've got the opposing Poleaxe, where our Poleaxe is essentially, and otherwise everybody is matched up evenly 1-on-1. So we're just gonna try and see who tries to jump on that advantage first. There we go, we've got a little bit of a breakthrough in the center. Oh, and that's all the help that they need. Trying to go for excellent takedown by Igor there. And again, he's free. And I do believe that center breakthrough really works for the Ukrainians quite well. And a lot of Belarusians seem to be on the floor all of a sudden. Again, didn't really get our Poleaxe on that match apart from that nice little takedown. But every little helps when the teams you're fighting with is good. So we've got 1 round up and 1 round down. Will Sharukhan Clan go through to the final playoffs? Or will this be the end? Find out. Find out in like 5 seconds. It's alright. They're reeling. We can see Igor's camera has been slightly dislodged by that Poleaxe hit in the last round. But it's also fantastic to see that they're making helmets with these little camera slots in them, so we can have a look at this cool person of view footage and see about the minute decisions that people make. There we can hear the Ukrainian supporters chanting Ukraine, Ukraine, which is always lovely to see. It's super important to have good support. It really riles you up and gets the fighting spirit going. Sharukhan are there. A little bit quiet, but still there. Victory and only victory. So we can see the fighters are really quite tired, so again, personal conditioning regimes are important. So there we go. Again, lining up, cautious approach. A little bit of a grapple on the left. Toho, come to me. Come to me. He really wants to be free this round. There we go. But his defender goes and starts to engage. Go help Toho. But it all ends up as a bit of a battle on the boards here. The list, and somebody is really pummeling Igor to the side, which isn't ideal. Unfortunately, you can't quite see what's going on. He gets a few shots in, but again, gets shut down by the Belarus team. Because there is somebody constantly on him in these last 2 playoff matches on him, and unfortunately, he hits the ground, and so do the rest of most of Ukrainians. A Ukrainian fighter is being sat down for reasons. I think he was supporting himself on the other fighters, and we've got a 2-on-1 Belarus versus Ukraine there in the back. The match isn't quite over. You can just see it in the camera. Sort of going forward. 2-on-1, this is a slow and grueling process to get your final opponent to the floor, and of course, these Ukrainians are tough. They don't want to give up, never surrender. Just fighting it out, and his friends are watching him from the ground. There's some discussion with the marshals about why the fighter got set down, but the marshal's decision is final. Igor's slowly getting up, and he tells the marshals to stop the fight as the captain of the Fives, and unfortunately, it's all over for our heroes. No. And that's Sharukhan Clan's 2015 journey to the playoffs. What did we learn today? They're a great team. They use great communication. They have absolutely fantastic Poleaxe technique. In any case, anywhere, their Poleaxe is always free to do whatever it is they want. If we just go for all those formations that they use, the Poleaxe is always in the center. It always has a commanding position of battle. He's there hanging out at the back, seeing how he can support his friends, and if he can, just get that space and get that power to hit people with those 1-2 deciding shots. That's when things go really well for the team and make really short work of the enemies. And certainly, I think Sharukhan Clan videos are absolutely fantastic to look at if you want to see good examples of good communication, good battlefield awareness, and good space and Poleaxe use. So go check out their videos. I'll put some links in the video description. Check out the shop, Buhurt Tech. And here is a symbol just in case you didn't see that. Find them on Facebook. I'll again put stuff in the description. It's hard talking 40 minutes, isn't it? And hopefully there'll be more videos of Buhurt Breakdown to show you later. I'm Igor, the Flower of Chivalry, and please let me know what you thought of the video in the comments. So thanks again to Buhurt Tech for providing me with their videos. Go check out their shop and YouTube videos. It's pretty excellent stuff. So, hopefully this is the first episode in a series of many. Anyway, that's me done. Thanks for watching, and be excellent to each other. Catch you later.